Hi, this tutorial will cover how to use the animation controller, at least briefly. So the first thing we're going to do is create the simplest animation we possibly could, and here we already have a prepared model that has an included animation. So if we go through the hierarchy and just select some nodes, we will see that the model itself has an animation, and if we select this, we will see that there is only one. It's called Take One. And we can click the animation controller button, which will open this window if it's not opened already. If it is, then it will just switch to it. And seeing as this is a simple looping animation, we can just click the button to create the animation. And this already loops around the head. The only thing that we need to set up now is the occluder, which is already also included in this in this model. So we just need to turn off the alpha, turn off blending, and there we go. This is already an animation. Now let's try something a little bit more complicated. Here we have a different model. Now this one also just has one take, but it is a bit more complex. Let me just add it as a looping animation, and we'll see how it behaves. So what this does, it appears and disappears. And let's set it up so that it activates or appears on a trigger, stays looping for a little while, and then disappears on another trigger. And for this, I will use mouth open. Seeing as we created this effect, I already know that each part of the animation takes 20 frames. If you're working with your own, please check using the timeline. So here we have the main or the initial state. I will just delete this and create an empty animation to start from scratch. So this is the initial state. This doesn't need to have an animation. We do need another state that will start the animation. So this is the enter, and this will be using the take animation. And we know that the desired duration is going to be 20 frames. You can use this little window down here to navigate. And let's set up the trigger. So you drag this line here, and I will use the sensitive mouth open. Now you can see it plays the 20 frames and just stands there because I haven't added any more states. Let's name this end. Next, we need to make the looping state so that it doesn't just stop like this. So let's make a new state. I will name it loop. And as the name suggests, it does loop. It's going to be using the same animation. The offset here is going to be 20 frames because it uses the same animation, but 20 frames after this one. And it's going to also have a duration of 20 frames. And we will transition into this state. Just a moment. Loop. Once this has once this has ended. So let's test that out. That does look better, but it just stays hanging there after I close my mouth, and I would like it to disappear and be able to appear again. So for that, we are going to need yet another state. Let's scroll to it. It's once again going to be using the same animation. Its duration is going to be 20 frames, and the offset is going to be 20 plus 20 because it's after this and after this. So that's going to be a 40. It won't loop, and I will call it end. So we want to transition to the end state from the loop state. And we want the trigger to be mouth closed. we're going to be using the sensitive variant because we use the sensitive variant here. Let's test it out. You will see now I can't re-trigger it once the animation ends because we haven't set up the transition back to the initial state. So let's just get that done as well. We want to create a transition, and the trigger is going to just be once this animation is done, so on end. And now we have this animation controller also done.